Once in a while, we meet inspiring people who distinguish themselves with exceptional abilities, skills, and knowledge. Ever so often, while these people excel at their profession, they hide a secret passion, engage in a hobby or favorite pastime that stimulates them in a unique way. At Contact Vision, we believe that engaging and learning from disciplines such as music and art triggers our creative and success potential. With this in mind, I reached out to Ivana Šedivá, a remarkable, inspiring, and successful businesswoman. Whilst Ivana has held high corporate positions as CMO at Tesco and McDonald's, she told me that singing is her passion and that she sings in a choir. I found this fascinating. Wow, CMO at McDonald's and a choir singer in her free time. Kicking off our talks with exceptional people who embrace interdisciplinary values, I felt Ivana was just the right person to talk to. Ivana, whenever we meet, we have a hearty and inspiring discussion, not only about business, but music too. When we first met, I just found it fascinating when you told me that singing is your hobby. What inspired you to start singing?
Well, singing was my passion since I was very little. I am actually, by training, I played piano. So I have some classical education, like 15 years in the school, musical school. Mm-hmm. But whenever it was very hard to take piano with me when we went somewhere with friends. So I grabbed guitar and so on, and I really loved singing. But what really always inspired me so much, and I loved even more, was when more people were singing together. My father and his family, they were singing at every bigger, even smaller family occasion. They are from that region of Czech Republic where still today the singing of the national folklore songs is a habit, and people love it. So I somehow inherited it, I guess, and I enjoyed it so much.
And what do you find so inspiring when you sing? How does it make you feel?
Well, it's something what you create, where you have to rely on everything what went to this moment. So everything what you lived through, all the experience, all the training, everything, even how you feel and all that comes to this moment, and then you perform. And you cannot undo it if it is live performance, which I prefer and which I do actually. So it's combination of so many things. And the other thing which I really love is that it's something, about music, which you find in many areas. When you have a passion for something, then you understand the purpose. The purpose is crystal clear. Sometimes in real life, in our businesses and so on, we struggle. Some people even don't know that their business should have a purpose, why they are doing it, some values and everything. But in music, in arts, it's quite self-explanatory, and you either have it, either you don't have it. So you have a purpose. You want to enjoy something. You want to be with other people, and specifically with choir singing, it's about a teamwork. Sounds really boring, but every single person matters. Every single person matters, and it is about the process, how you get there, which is fascinating, and it is about the result as well. Now we are singing the Baroque music, for instance, Bach and Zelenka, some famous composers. And I'm alto, right? So what is specific about alto singers and Baroque music? Well, your melody probably doesn't make sense when you sing it by yourself. So you get the sheets and you try to sing and then you think like, I will never be able to sing it. I cannot remember it. It doesn't make sense. Obviously, with time, you start learning and adapting the musical rules of that era and da-da-da-da-da. But at the end of the day, it cannot stand alone. It doesn't make any sense. And you learn, while working with other people, you learn that it will start making sense when you put it together. and that with the help of others and their pieces, which also maybe sometimes soprano, okay, but for the others, maybe also it doesn't make so much sense alone, their melody. But once you put it together, you start creating magic. Miracles are happening. And you are more than yourself. And you are not more like 20 times or 30 times as many people you have there, but it's like exponential. And you start creating magic. And you can take people with you. And this is also one of the things which is for me as a businesswoman very, very interesting, is that moment of result. We don't have it that often in business. In business, we often like work on something and then it somehow quickly happens, but we are already in preparation on some other business and worrying about the future and all these other things. And you kind of very rarely, you have that feeling of completion, finalization of something, and that kind of very nice feeling like, okay, so it's done and it was success. And we need it in our lives. So this is what I really love in music and in singing, is that when we come together, and especially together with orchestra, when we are singing in that best musical hall in Prague, and you have there the audience, and they are hardly breathing, and you physically feel the energy, which we all together are creating. So it's not only the music, and not only the car, which creates that magic, but together with the audience, we create something even bigger. So it fulfills me also emotionally and also on some other dimensions.
But there's a very interesting point about performance, because we musicians we live for that moment of performance, of joining the audiences, and it makes our life actually happy, and it's what we live for. So how would you see it? How would you transfer it to business? How, have you tried in your position to emulate something similar as a music performance, or the aspects of a music performance?
Well, this is what we learn through the life, but music is very good teacher, that the last 5% of effort will make a difference between okay performance and something wow. And my daughter is singing, and I actually can observe it much more with her when they have the one extra meeting, one extra trial, one extra thing, and you hear the result, which 2 weeks ago you thought like, oh, it's nice, yeah, but, and you put a little more effort there. It's not like, it's like maybe after 1 year of training, it's like the final weekend. It could be a few final touches, and there is the difference between okay performance and fabulous performance. And this is something what I think people who are enjoying music, but who are also performing, they learn it. Because what's the point performing in front of people if it is not the best you can get out of you, right? So the attitude toward the work ethics also. There are other things as well. For me, the core has very interesting learnings for me as well. Even in my today's life, when I'm typically in the leadership position, when I'm in the business, while in the core, I'm one of altos. And I'm now observing how the team works together, how the leadership approaches work, and how the person on the receiving end, how the person feels, how the person is motivated or maybe not so much motivated, and how much self-motivated and self-controlled I have to be, and my conductor has to allow me to be, in order to have the magical result. It is so interesting to observe that if our conductor is not able to come,
Mm-hmm.
and we are trying the piece with the help of somebody else, somehow it's not the same. Somehow that one specific leader is able to inspire in us everything and let us put all the emotions, and he knows he cannot play it instead of us. We have to sing it, right?
Yeah.
So he has the only tools he has are like the motivation, explanation, taking us with him, and somehow telling us stories so that we can see his vision, and we can deliver on that vision in our best possible capability. So this is very interesting actually to observe as a leader from the other side. But
Okay, yeah. So in a way, you shift between leadership and part of the team role, like when you play in a choir. But it was very interesting when you said about the conductor telling stories. For example, are they music related, or are they maybe even some stories from everyday life? How does he or she like inspire with these stories?
yeah, it's Wojciech Joza. He's a famous player, also in Czech Philharmonic Orchestra, and he actually likes to tell stories. Not so many. So it's like a spice, a little bit, but it really spices everything. And he would tell stories, the musical stories, which somehow explain the context of what we are either singing about, because these are typically spiritual contexts of the songs, or about the author and how he lived, or how he used to work with the music, what was specific about him, how we interpret it, how other people interpret it. But the beauty is that if somebody can tell those stories with a bit of fun and lightheartedness, so that we are like children waiting and listening, and it starts creating the images, the pictures. Maybe for somebody sounds, I don't know. For me, it's more like about pictures and visuals, which I see, and I can better understand how I should approach the piece. And it's actually, funnily enough, it's not rational process, this one. Yes, there are some interesting informations, but it's we are working much more with emotions and with all the subliminal layers, so that I even don't know how I am then translating it. But after such a story, the piece which we sang previously was maybe technically perfect and everything was like okay and so on, and it transforms into something with a soul. And it happens like that.
No, that's lovely said. That's a great point, because, as a musician, we always, is that point where we're technically mastered. It's like, you do have the perfect product you've delivered, but where is that extra that will be that, from good to great, actually, that transformation. So that was wonderfully said.
Yeah, and actually this is, if you go back to the theories about how people organize themselves and how organizations are built and how leaders should work, the language and storytelling is so important, because it allows us to organize ourselves in a bigger numbers than what is the typical 150 people can be managed or led. But once you start telling stories, it's limitless. And here I see it at the front line, really.
And do you think that this inspiring moment, this extra moment, can be emulated in business too, in a business organization?
Definitely, yeah. I think in business, we so often are concerned about how we do things. And all the trainings, not all of them, but a lot of trainings of leadership are really focused on how we should do things. While actually the leader needs, first of all, and today even more than ever, needs to take people on board with engaging story about what are we trying to do and why, and what is the purpose. And this is the story. And if people can relate to the story, then they don't need to be told exactly what to do. And they will know by themselves how to best contribute to the best possible result, which is the vision, which is what we are after even in business. If people don't understand that, how can we expect them to give the best out of them?
That's true. Well, that's a wonderful and great leadership lesson. Ivana, thank you very much.
You're welcome, Bibi. It was a pleasure.